Coming live from London is our guest this afternoon. Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And before I move forward, may I request you to subscribe, follow, like, and comment on whichever platform you are listening to this show on. And today we have Sammie Ellard King, founder of Up the Game's Money Made Simple. And he will talk to us about how to change our relationship with money. Welcome to the show, Sammie.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. So, Sammie, straight to the point. Tell us what do you mean by relationship with money? People have different relationships, you mean?
Yeah, it can mean very many different things, but really, we try to take your relationship with money. A lot of people have hardship with money. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck. So what we try to do as Up the Gains is we try to change that relationship and try and break that barrier, really trying to create yourself and your family some wealth and some financial goals that we try to hit with you to really change your lives and have a big impact on that. Money doesn't solve all the issues, but it pays for the journey. It's a long road. And 60-70% of our problems are usually money focused. So if we can try to help you with those, and we do that in a number of different ways. The website is very focused and the brand is focused 50% almost on investing. But to be able to invest, you need to have done a comprehensive budget. You need to have saved some money behind you. You need to have increased your income. So we focus a lot with the increasing incomes, starting businesses, making money online. We focus a lot on these topics. And then what we do with that is we invest that money. So it's really budgeting, then saving, then making some more money, improving your income, and then investing that money to really create yourself some wealth. And that's the pathway that we take our guests on.
Right. Sammie, you are into hospitality industry. You have been there for quite some time and you are at a very senior position. And you decided to go into telling people, about investing, about creating time freedom. How did you find that you should go into this particular line and not, it's a very basic thing that people would generally like to go into the same industry that they know well about?
Yeah, I mean, I love hospitality. It's a lot of fun. I've done it for my whole life. I think it's a brilliant business if you get into it. I encourage a lot of people to. It's a good career. I kind of fell into it. A lot of my family do it. My mother, my father, my grandfather all run businesses like this themselves. So I kind of grew up in this world. So it feels natural to me to be in it. But, there's only so much that I can give in this industry, I think. And with this business, with Up the Gains, I am helping people from a fundamental basis, changing their lives. For me, that adds another realm to what I'm doing. And if I can help people and really kind of make an impact on their day-to-day lives, then that for me fills a massive hole in my heart. And really, this kind of business came out of necessity. A lot of my friends were asking me questions related to investing, and I was going online and I wasn't being able to find the information that I wanted to find about personal finance and investing in a way that was easy for me to understand as well, because a lot of it is very complex and laden with jargon, with words and terminology that's not so easy to understand. You have to go and Google that word, and then that happens 4 or 5 times in an article. You spend way too long trying to find out that topic, and that can put people off. So what we do is really break that down and try and take out all of the difficult terminology that's tough to understand in this world, because there is a lot of it. So we try and break that down for our readers and give them the opportunity to learn in a way that's quite comfortable and accessible for them. So yeah, that's kind of really the challenge. It is challenging. I run the business. I probably do 4 or 5 hours a day on Up the Gains, but I do that very early in the morning and very late at night. And then I shut my imaginary laptop on Up the Gains and I go to work, and I do my job as a director of K&G Hospitality, which is a business in London. We own bars and restaurants and music venues. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, crazy life.
Yeah, you are doing a lot of hard work early. It must be around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning there in London.
It's 8:20 at the moment, but yeah, I've been awake for a couple of hours
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So Sammie, I want to ask about two things. You are talking about creating time freedom for people who come to you, and second thing is that uh, you are into this particular line of work, and most of the people that would come to you would perhaps not be having a great relationship with money, and that's why they want to make a healthy life with some money in their hands. So how do you achieve these twin objectives? How do you tell them? What do you tell them? Can you share the tips that you share with different sort of clients? The same would be applicable to uh, a lot of people in India as well.
Yeah,
Everybody,
of course.
maybe because a few investment opportunities or personal finance opportunities here and there, that changes, but the lesson is by and large the same. So if you can share your tips for the Indian audience.
Of course, yeah. It's a journey. I don't. We do not preach. Buy some Bitcoin and make some money overnight. That's not what we do. We look at it from a fundamental basis. We try to tell people that this is a 10 to 20 to 30-year journey that you're going to go on. Each person is unique. Each person starts at different stages of this, and you might already have some savings, you might have no savings, you might have already started to invest and want to increase that. So really, you can come into this journey at different pathways, but the journey is still the same. So wherever you jump onto the train, it just is a different point in the track. So that's what we do with people. It's fundamentally important that if you have some debt, then you focus on your debt first. Do not try to invest. Do not try to save money before you pay off your debt. So once you've done that, that's clear. That's where I started. I started in my 20s with a lot of debt from university, high debt. I wasn't very good with money myself. I was terrible with money, and I had to teach myself to be good with money. So pick up some knowledge. Read some fantastic books or some websites like Up the Gains, for example, and pick up some basic knowledge. Start to change your relationship with money, and then we're big fans on habit. So habit is really, really important for us. So if you're really bad with money, you need to change your habit. If you're really good with money, you might need to still change your habit to increase that. So for one of the things that we love teaching people is about the 3-bank system. So a 3-bank system is so if you're bad with money, for example, you have your normal everyday current checking account, which you use for your purchases and your daily lives. Then you have a savings account, but you order the credit card or the debit card for this, right? And it comes in the post. And then really cool, you take it to somewhere that you enjoy, and then you take a pair of scissors and you cut that card in half. So it doesn't exist anymore. You can't touch it. All you have is a direct debit set up into that account that transfers money from your paycheck each month, or every time you get paid, you put some money into that account, but you can't touch it. You have to go into the bank, you have to queue up, you have to wait, you have to speak to the bank manager, you have to say, Mr. Bank Manager, please can I have my £200-300? And this creates a barrier to getting that money. Some people, that's a long journey to get to the bank. You can't just access it on your phone and send it to yourself in 2 minutes. You have to think about it, and that's really important for people that struggle with money because it's creating habit. And in the end, they start enjoying it. And the third account is something called an emergency fund. So we encourage people to, let's say, for example, you have £100. You might save £20 of that, but then you put £10 into your bank number 2, and you put £10 into your bank number 3. And your bank number 3, so your savings account is something that you might be saving towards. So that might be, a new door for the house, or repair your car, or no, not repair your car, sorry, like repair your house, do something nice to the house, decorate, that type of thing. But your emergency fund is something that you only touch when there is a financial disaster. You crash your car, your mother gets sick, something along those lines, which you won't spend the money for it until it's an absolute desperation. And what that does is that creates security for that person, and that's where we kind of get them to. And once they've absolutely nailed that, then we start looking at investing their bank number two into more aggressive investments. And they're not crazy, but just little step by step into the market, and try and increase that second part for them.
Okay. And do you think anyone can become an investor if they are some people are not so good with money, but how can they become an investor? How do you train them?
Yeah, I mean, there's some fantastic tools here in the UK, and I know they're worldwide now. They're automatic investors. Using technology now is a fantastic way to start. In the UK, you can invest for as little as £1. So even if you're bad with money, you can set that up. So perhaps, that you have a percentage of that savings amount goes in automatically into investments. And if you're really not that great with money, or have no knowledge of the stock market, because the stock market is a big place, and it can be overwhelming. So, but there are some really basic ways that you can do it and be very, very, very successful. Some of the most successful investors of all time invested in one or two things. Big ETFs or funds that cover a large range of stocks. So, for example, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index is the top 5,000 stocks in the US. If you just put your money into that for your whole life, you would be very, 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 you've done very well. So you don't need to worry about it too much. If you don't want to, you don't need to individual stock pick if you don't know much about it. You can get involved by just picking some safe investments into some funds, and add to it slowly over time. And you'll start to see success over 4 or 5 years. You'll see some really good numbers, and you'll think, right, cool, let's get more aggressive with this. That's what I do, and it's about building your confidence up and habit. Habit is important. Every month you're doing the same thing. You're putting your savings away. You've been putting your investments away. You're putting some money into your emergency fund, and what that does is it starts creating in your mind. So paying yourself first, which is paying when you get paid. You don't pay your bills first. Pay your money into your savings and into your investment accounts. That's paying you. That's not paying the guy that you owe the money to. It's paying you first, and then pay him, because then that's given you what you need first. You're the most important person in this situation. You worked really hard for that money, so put that money to work for you. So that's really, really important.
Right. Now, whoever it is, even if he has less money, more money, but they want their wealth to be everlasting. As long as they are alive, then they want to pass it on. And that's the way nature is, and that's the way humans are. But now, today, the bigger important thing is that, does your wealth last for yourself, even for you in your lifetime? So, how to create lasting wealth? Are there any methods to it? Any tips for that you want to share on this?
Yeah. So going back to what we were saying before, if you want to create lasting wealth, you can't just save your money. A savings account will not do that for you. It really won't, unless you're saving a lot of money every month into that savings account. Then you need to invest your money, and you need to try and improve your income. So try to start a business online or in person, and with the profits that you make in that business, or the extra money that you made from getting a promotion at work or a new job that pays you more, that extra money, you need to invest that money. If you want to create lasting wealth, you have to be in the stock market. There's so many studies about this, and that's really, really, really important. So if you want to put away money for your children, you can do that a lot, as well as investing for yourself. So if that's really important to you, there are accounts such as junior ISAs, which you can put bits of money into for your children, and if your children are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, they can't touch that money till they're 18. Think how big that's going to be in that amount of time. That's a long, long time. That's the type of time that, could create financial freedom for yourself. So, think about what that could do for your children. So, that's how you create lasting wealth. You've got to be invested in the stock market.
Right. Sammie, now you talk about, creating time freedom. What do you exactly mean by that?
So yes, look, you listen to me talking about money, and yes, that's is a big part of it. But actually, the main goal is time freedom. So I don't want to be working till my last dying day. I want to focus on things that are important to me, family, children. I want to play golf a couple of times a week. I want to have some fun, right? But I also want to work on businesses that I want to work on when I want to work on them. And so to be able to do that, I need enough money to create that time. So without that money, I'll be working and working. But with time freedom, I'll be able to do that once I have enough money. So first problem is the money, and then we focus on what makes me happy long term and what I'm going to enjoy doing for the rest of my life. So time freedom is the ultimate goal, but to get there, we need some money first.
Right. So basically, financial freedom leads to time freedom, and you get to live your dreams.
Exactly. And you get to help people as well. And I want to continually help people and, work with charities, work with volunteering, and do these things that really make a difference. And to be able to do that, right now I don't have the time to do that. So, but I would love to. So that's really, really important for me is to create that time freedom.
Right, Sammie. So how do people contact you? Obviously, I'll put some of the information in the YouTube description, but just from your side, how do people connect you? What is the best way to, take your help?
Yeah, so look, come on to the website. We have different sections laid out for different people. It's up the gains, and gains is with an NGAINS.co.uk. And we have different sections available: investing, financial freedom, making money online, saving, budgeting. There's tons of free resources. We have a lot of free resources. We also have some products as well. Once you're more comfortable with what we're doing, we have a master budgeting spreadsheet, which we've built for households, which you can manage your whole household budget on, and also work on debt plans and investment plans. In that one spreadsheet, it's all built for you. And we have an ebook as well, which is called How to Go About Investing Money. But come and read some of the free resources, get yourself started. We have loads of them for you. So before you go and buy any of the products, make sure you're happy with what we're talking about. And then come enjoy what we do.
Okay. Lots of important information, Sammie, from your side. I'm sure a lot of people will be benefiting out of this.
I hope so. And please tell us your stories. We love to hear from you. So drop us an email or a note on Instagram or something like that. We'd love to hear from you.
Great. So on this note, Sammie, it's a wrap on this edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. We'll get you soon. Sometime very soon, we'll be talking about, I wanted to talk about small businesses and all. You are very good in that part of that, business. So we will certainly get back to you soon and talk about that.
Oh, great. I can't wait. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much indeed. Take care. Just